Welcome to Sajada's Life Science Tutorials. And in this video tutorial, I'll be discussing on how to crack CSIR NET 2018. There are three important steps that one should keep in mind to crack CSIR NET. The first one is to understand about the exam. The second one is to prepare for the exam. And the third one is to revise, revise and revise. While understanding about the exam, we come to know that it is held in 2 months, June and December, and both these exams have different question patterns about which I'll be dealing later in another tutorial. The second point is that it's a 3 hours duration exam, so we must be planned so that how much amount of time we can devote for each part. There are 3 parts to attend. Part A has general aptitude questions. Part B and C have questions from our subject, but part B questions will be kind of a direct one, and part C will have analytical type of questions. Next is about the marking scheme, the positive and negative marks. Part A, any correct answer can give us 2 marks, while a wrong answer can also have a reduction of 0.25 marks from how much ever marks we have scored in total. Part B will also give us a positive of 2 marks and a negative will have 0.25 deducted. And part C have 4 marks for each correct answer and 1 mark will be deducted if we answer any question from part C wrongly. Next is about the number of questions given and how much to attend. Part A have 20 questions and the amount of questions that we have to attend is a maximum of 15. Part B has 50 questions and we have to attend only 35 from the 50 questions. And Part C has 75 from which we only have to attend 25 questions. So Part C is having a lot more questions and smaller amount of questions to be attended and has a higher marking scheme. The next point is to prepare for the exam. The most important thing that we have to keep in mind while preparing for the exam is obviously the question papers. Previous year question papers should be gone through so that we can understand the patterns during June and December sets. While going through each and every questions, keep in mind to take down the topic in which the question has been asked so that you can later find the hot spots during each examinations, whether it is June or December. Next, after writing the topics, we can categorize the topics from most important to least important. And then you divide these topics among the maximum amount of time you have. From one exam to another exam set of exam, you have almost a complete set of 5 months, or some people do even take 1 year to prepare and then attend the exam. Whether you have to attend the June set or whether you have to attend the December set depends on which background, which subject background you come from, and I'll be discussing it later in my another tutorial. Another point is to follow good books rather than college guides. Following good books means you will have detailed and elaborated theories on them. You will have elaborated notes on them in authorized books or the best suited material, which I am also discussing in another tutorial. And the important thing or the helpful thing about the college guides is that a very elaborated thing can be tabulated in a very simpler manner. So, and in these college guides you will have those tabulated forms, like for example in case of disease causing organisms, the vectors, the signs and symptoms, or the way it get communicated, all these can be elaborated into a paragraph, but being in a simpler tabulated form we can easily memorize them, we can easily keep in mind. So look for college guides or other practice books for those kind of tabulated form. Otherwise, only opt best books or best books by authors, good authors. Another point to keep in mind is to take down the important points when you read a paragraph or when you go through the books that you have selected to study. And you can also create some simple diagrams or illustrations so that they would help you during the time of a revision, as they would be easy for understanding and they'll also be stuck in your mind for quite a long amount of time. You can also use some sticky notes to take down important points so that you can memorize them quite often. You can stick them in your room or the place where you study or the place where you spend most of your time. You can also create the tabulated form. You can represent the tabulated form in A4 sheets and stick them around. Like for example, the geological time scale or the periodic table. All these things should be there around you so that you can memorize them. You can revise them quite often. They would help you a lot. Now the third step is to revise, and you will need at least 1 month for proper revision. During revision, you can go through the notes that you have prepared. Those illustrations, diagrams, stick bills all will help you revise. Some people just need a quick revision, but some people need have to go through each and every point. So just keep 1 month, last 1 month for revision. And another thing is to take mock tests. Practice from practice papers. There are many publishers which bring the previous year question papers, solved forms, and different practice forms. There, just keep in mind that when you select a good book, select the one which is having solved papers. Otherwise, you will have to start on Googling for answers. So keep in mind to have a solved good practice book in hand. I'll also give you a suggestion of the best study materials in another tutorial, including those of different parts from part A, part B, and part C and all. So keep in mind to practice, practice, and practice. Only then you will be perfect. Now, let me also give you a few points that you must not forget. All parts are equally important. There are some people who neglect part A and they just concentrate for part B and C. They might have prepared for that, but I would strongly recommend that there might be that one very questions which might help you crack CSIR net in part A. Some questions of part A are very simple. They're simple general aptitude questions, simple mathematical questions might be there for simple calculations. So just go through even though you have not prepared. And the next point is your success depends on how much correct answers you provide and not on how much questions you have attended. Earlier, I've already showed you how much questions CSIR is giving us and the amount or maximum number of questions we must attend. So, it is not at all necessary. I repeat, it's not at all necessary to attend all the maximum number they have provided. If they have told us that we have to answer 15 questions, it's not at all necessary to attend 15. It might be less than that. But what we have to keep in mind is that whatever we answer, be sure that you are giving a correct answer. You are giving a perfect answer. So the important thing is that how much correct answers we provide and or not how much questions we have attended. If we attend more questions and if it's wrong, we'll normally get a deduction of negative marks in them. The next point is that examination hall is not a place for taking risks, so avoid it. And this comes while answering the questions. If you are not 50% sure in case of answering a question, just avoid it because that question might prevent you from qualifying it. So keep in mind only to provide correct answers and be cautious while bubbling. There are some people who make mistakes during bubbling. So read the question number correctly, look at the OMR sheet correctly, and just see that it's perfect so that you don't make a mistake in that 3 hours duration. So we have to be very cautious while writing the exam and while understanding exam, while preparing the exam. How much ever cautious you are, You will be saved. You will crack CSIR NET 2018. It's a very easy thing actually, but the problem comes in our preparation. Something might be wrong in our preparation, or we might not have understood the pattern. We must not have prepared the perfect pattern, or we must not have revised perfectly, even though we might have studied it earlier. So all these 3 points must be kept in mind, and it must be not forgotten. And good luck to all those who are preparing. Thank you.